Horse is nature's car. Do you think that Dominic Toretto could catch a horse?
So hello, good morning.
You're all under citizen's arrest.
What?
You're all under citizen's arrest. You all have to get in the car. You're all coming with me. It's a citizen's arrest to Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh.
Ah! And also prison.
What was their crime?
Not loving me enough.
He's always saying that, you guys. He's always saying, the babies don't love me enough. Every time we end the show, he's just like, Saige, the babies ain't loving me enough.
You can let me know. I mean, the one way to avoid your sentence would be to let me know how much you love me. I don't know if I had proof of how much you love me, maybe you wouldn't go to jail. Welcome to the first, best, and only morning show in existence. I'm Anthony Carboni.
And I'm Saige Ryan. Hey, put something in for me.
Oh, and also, you have to be just as much in love with Saige as you are with me because we're besties and we come as a pair.
That's the law.
You're under arrest.
Unless. Hey everyone, there were a lot less shows last week and we missed you. We missed you on Wednesday and we missed you on Friday. Very much. We're very happy to be back. I was out of town. I went to New York.
Mm-hmm. The Big Apple.
The Big Apple.
She went to make it on Broadway. How did it go?
I landed the lead role in Funny Girl.
Whoa!
It's finally being played by a Jew.
Whoa! We did it, everyone!
All I had to do was prove that I could read.
They said that's more than anyone's ever done.
Remember last year on the holidays when they posted a picture of Leah Michele as Fanny Bryce, Barbara Streisand's role in Funny Girl, and said Merry Christmas, and posted nothing for Hanukkah.
Merry Christmas from the Jewish musical.
From the Jewish musical. Anyways, I was in New York for the weekend. I was on a shoot. I had like one full work day and I had one lovely social day. My dear friend Elise is in the chat right now, who came out to like play tour guide for me and show me around New York a little bit.
The BBs know Elise.
The BBs all know Elise.
They know Elise.
They know Elise.
So Elise came in and she showed you all the local hot spots, like the M&M store. You went to the M&M store,
We didn't
right?
go to the M&M store. We spent the
Some
day.
tour guide.
Look, it was beautiful. We spent the day at the Met. We walked around Central Park.
Mm-hmm.
But there was one thing in particular that was extremely memorable about my trip. Have you ever been to the turtle pond in New York? Like right by Central Park?
Yeah, you throw giant stones in it and the turtles come flying out.
Well,
that's a local tip.
Well, you see, there's a little rock that you can like kind of shimmy your way down onto.
No, Saige.
No, hold on. Give me a minute. You're allowed to. There's a lot of people gathering on this, okay? And I shimmied my way down onto a rock to sit near the turtles. I'll post a photo in the Discord. I've got lovely photos of turtles staring right at me. And there's like 15, 20 turtles on this rock. It's awesome. And I'm loving it. I'm staring at these turtles. A tour guide approaches behind us with another like maybe 15 people, talking about the pond. And it's like, hell yeah, we get a free little explanation of this place. Talking about how at some point it became extremely popular for the wealthy to have dogs in the city. And then it was like everybody needs a pet and turtles were cheaper pets. So people started getting turtles because they couldn't get dogs in the city. And then they would abandon their turtles at this like lake pond body of water thing. So that's why there's so many turtles in the pond. Yeah. And then pointed out like Larry David's apartment across the way. Really was going
real turtle lover.
Yeah, real turtle lover.
He was like,
Larry David.
when Larry David made it big, he said one day when he moved to New York, he said one day I'm gonna make it big, and when I do, I'm gonna get me the biggest apartment with a view of the turtle pond.
Yeah.
And I'll be king of the turtles.
That's what he said.
Turtle.
And that's what the tour guide said.
Yeah.
Spot on. So I was loving on these turtles, and look, I'm adorable. And Elise took out her cell phone and started taking pictures of me loving these turtles, pointing at the turtles, so happy with the turtles. But Elise, as a good friend, wanted to get a really good angle. So she leaned forward.
No.
And the massive, and I truly do mean massive plastic water bottle that we had just picked up in the park thuds out of her backpack onto a rock shaped like this, a slope. And as soon as we both hear it hit, we know there's no way to catch the water bottle.
Sure. Because the hit means it's already fallen.
It's already fallen.
Right.
And like, we're also on a slanted rock.
Right.
We can't go down with this. They've already warned us that the water has botulism or scurvy or something.
Yeah.
And the water bottle, this big, perfectly tumbled down the rock and bowled a solid, I'm going to say like, you know when you get the goalposts, 2 pins left? Of these turtles. You could hear the bonk of the plastic off of their shells as they all went, no, and slid down the rocks back into the pond. And all of the tourists following the tour guide around go, oh no, oh no. And they're all freaking out going, are they okay? Are the turtles okay?
Did that woman just kill the turtles? They said to our friend Elise. They pointed at Elise and they went, is that woman now a turtle murderer? Can we have her arrested? Citizen's arrest, they said. Get in the car.
Did you go pick up the split? That was the thing. Elise was like, damn, I wish I had another. I'd have had a spare. I'm not kidding. There was so many, but then the others were also frightened, so they also just like lifted their legs and slid down on their shells because they were just afraid.
Yeah, of course.
And like obviously the turtles were all completely fine. They literally live in shells. You just heard it like bonk off of it.
Hey. You don't know that.
The turtles, I saw them. They were all fine as they slid down.
We had all the turtles. We had all the turtles fill out a form to say that they were all right.
Yeah.
We exchanged contact information with the turtles.
Jay just said, things I'll never admit to ever for 200, Alex.
Elise is like the turtle menace of Central Park.
People are gonna tell that story.
They're gonna put
vacation.
flyers of her face up and just be like,
wanted posters.
yeah, do not allow this woman near the wildlife.
Just PTSD, no physical harm. They were all fine. Exactly. Listen, they evolved armor. Like in the Jurassic Park era, it's fine. They were all completely fine. But
What
then,
was that official historical era again?
The Jurassic Park era.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I know.
No, go on.
I said what I said.
Yeah.
I said what I said and
Yeah.
I meant what I said. And I
Yeah.
want you to know that. And then we both had to just like freeze and sit there hoping, and the tour guide was like, okay, guys, we're gonna like kind of move on to the next place because we've clearly ruined their tour.
Right.
And I'm like, shit, there's also like a plastic water bottle now floating right at the edge of this body of water, but you can't touch the water.
touch the water.
You'll get scurvy and or botulism.
And they looked up, and looking down at them disappointingly from across the way was Larry David. Just like this.
With his 26 Porsches that he bought an entire apartment building floor for or something. I don't know, rich people.
And then he did this to his blinds. He was like,
Larry David has shitty apartment blinds?
he keeps meaning to get them replaced.
Scurvy from the water? Yeah.
Oh, we forgot to do this.
And or botulism. Could be one or the other. Could be either one.
Could be either one. I got rid of that goal because it was incorrect. But you can still give us money.
Guys, Larry David is just one of the boys.
Larry David's just one of the boys.
They actually told the story of how he bought out the entire floor of that apartment building and had a lift installed for his cars because he had like 1 million Porsches and he wanted to park them inside the apartment building.
Larry David? I know Seinfeld's like that.
Oh, maybe it was Seinfeld.
I think that's Seinfeld. Seinfeld's a monster.
Maybe it was Seinfeld.
Seinfeld is a monster publicly. Larry David says nothing about himself publicly.
Old guys.
Old guys, everybody.
I wasn't going to say it, Saige. Thank you, Elise. Somebody had to correct me. It was Jerry Seinfeld. Okay.
It was Jerry Seinfeld.
Fucking old guys, you know?
Old guys. Jerry Seinfeld, who goes on talk shows and talks about how he's the reason the American Express black card exists.
That sounds right for this
He's
story.
super chill about it.
Yeah.
He's super chill, Jerry Seinfeld
How the
is.
fuck did he install a whole car elevator in his building? I'm going to tell you right now. He didn't.
With his own 2 hands. Jerry Seinfeld, working man.
Larry learned it from Jerry.
Larry David from across the way from Seinfeld's like, I like to just picture Larry David scowling at people and turning his shitty apartment blinds down.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Hey, I can't believe you didn't go to the M&M store. That's like the #1 place you got to go when you're in New York.
Yeah?
First place, when I lived in New York, anytime anybody showed up, I was like, well, first thing we got to do.
I've
M&M
been
store.
to the M&M store.
It's new every time.
Is it?
It's completely different every time. Just because of the vibe and the energy and the New Yorkness of it.
I was afraid that I would walk in and I would be disappointed that I didn't want to fuck the green M&M anymore.
No, they fired Tucker Carlson, so now we can fuck any M&M we want.
Is that how that works?
Yeah. It's a huge win.
I mean,
for people who want to fuck candy.
Tucker Carlson getting fired is a huge win for everyone.
But especially candy fuckers.
It's a news show, everyone.
To candy fucking.
Good morning.
Don't fuck candy? You're not my dad. There, I said it. Live studio audience. You can't heckle me for my lifestyle choices.
But we are your dads.
That's true. That's true. Now sit down. Your dads are going to learn you something. First of all, some very disappointing news that came out last week about the Overwatch.
Now, here's the thing. When you start like that, it's like, there's been more disappointing news about Overwatch.
Oh yeah, but the latest disappointing news about Overwatch.
Yeah.
The most recent Overwatch disappointing news.
Yeah, if you are an Overwatch fan, hey, stop it.
Yeah,
Stop
if you're an
playing
Overwatch
Blizzard
fan,
games.
that's done. We don't do that anymore.
First and foremost, stop playing Blizzard games. But there has been a real buzz around the people outing themselves for still playing Overwatch because they're all very upset that one of the biggest things that was promised for Overwatch 2, their PvE mode, was canceled. Now, PvE mode was like, nice, yeah, sign up for the latest releases,
Hey,
news,
everybody,
reviews.
we've got to sign up for Kotaku to get this story. Will everybody please just sign up for Kotaku real quick so we can look at this? I want to see the latest Overwatch news. Could everybody please just sign up for the Kotaku newsletter?
So here's the thing. A lot of people, when they started talking about Overwatch 2, were like, why not just update first Overwatch? First Overwatch, still very good, just more Overwatch. And they were like, no, no, no. New Overwatch because PvE, baby.
We're adding everything you ever wanted. There's going to be a story mode, and then there's going to be a co-op story mode, and there's going to be a whole mode that's just co-op missions, and we're doing everything we couldn't do in the original Overwatch, and that's why this has to be Overwatch 2.
And none of that's happening. So essentially everything that people were excited for Overwatch 2 for has been completely cut from the game, and instead it is just a rehashing of Overwatch in a free-to-play setting with some new heroes and less interesting animatics.
Yeah, so Aaron Keller basically, after this announcement, went on and did a Blizzard blog, and the only Blizzard blog we want is the merger didn't happen, and we're paying out everybody that we treated horribly, and we're firing all of our top-level executives. But that's not the blog that we got. What we got was Aaron Keller saying, Aaron Keller, who had to take over from Jeffy Overwatch when Jeffy Overwatch was like, peace, this place sucks.
And it did.
Aaron Keller came in and he was like, listen, we're not canceling PvE outright. That's not accurate. What's going on is... We're not doing the PvE the way we said we were going to, which is we were going to do PvE with skill trees and customizable hero abilities and like shared multiplayer with the original title, blah blah blah. What they're doing is they're getting rid of all of those hero missions, and they're basically like. They're doing like a set, they're taking those PvE missions and they're putting them into the main story mode that's eventually coming out or something. It was very confusing the way he's trying to explain the way PvE is not going away, but it sounds like PvE is just going away.
It does. From all of this, at the end of the day, it still sounds like PvE is not happening. It's definitely not happening in the way it was expected. But here's the thing. Like, there were PvE things in Overwatch, the first game, that people loved. They were just something that lived in the arcade. So the way I see it is, once again, them just rehashing it, where it's like, yeah, I mean, there's probably like an eventized PvE, or maybe there's like an experience in this supposed maybe someday story mode for it. But this game sucks. And this company sucks. So stop playing it if you are. There's nothing to even look forward to. And I say this as somebody who Overwatch was like my favorite game. The first Overwatch game, I have more hours in than almost any other
reading.
game.
Than taking care of your own personal health.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, that's true.
That's true.
Yeah, no, that one's just true. So I say that as somebody who deeply, deeply loved Overwatch and like really, really wished I was able to love Overwatch 2. But I don't, and I won't, and you shouldn't either, because there's nothing to love about it, and the company is dog shit.
Sorry
Sorry
about that. In some more, unfortunately, disappointing game news, a game that we were looking forward to, Nightingale. Nightingale is the, man, how do you explain Nightingale?
How do you even explain it? It's one of those where, like, if you don't remember it from the name, when you see the picture, you'll be like, oh, that game.
It's sort of like, they're calling it a gas lamp fantasy game. It's a bunch of ex-BioWare developers.
It's cool as shit.
Yeah. And it's basically, put that up. Yeah. It's basically this one.
Yeah.
You remember, it's
like a little bit steampunky fantasy. It's like,
you're building worlds, but you're also hunting monsters. Yeah. It's got like that sort of Valheimish thing to it, but it's very like Gaslamp Cthulhu fantasy.
Blade of Creation said, wait, what about Nightingale? Believe it or not, we're getting to that.
It's going to be, unfortunately, delayed until autumn. It was supposed to come out the first half of 2023. If you're taking notes, that means it has one more month to come out in early access, and they said that's unfortunately just not going to happen. They said the reason for the release shift is simple. The playtest process is working. We're doing playtesting. People are giving us feedback. We're getting really good feedback. We're getting more feedback than we expected, and we're implementing that feedback, and we're not going to put out the game until we feel like it's ready.
We're very much team. Take the time that you need with the game. Put out the game that you feel like is ready. Let's stop releasing half-finished games. There's always like a little bit of concern when it happens in the queue, like in that like testing phase.
Yeah.
Where you're like, ooh, is it a bad game?
Is it a bad game?
Is it a bad game? But I'm not gonna say it is.
No. Now, what they're saying is the feedback we've been receiving is invaluable. The extra time will allow us to continue the progress we've been making while not jeopardizing the health of our team. There are a number of things we want to do with this extra time, from quality of life improvements like crafting bench animations, to tuning and progression and pacing, to continuing to work to make the realms feel as mystical and amazing as they can be. Now, this means that they're also going to be able to move up to Unreal Engine 5.2, which is a very big deal because that adds some more stuff for dynamic lighting. It adds some more stuff for dynamic worlds and foliage, which is going to be a big deal for Nightingale.
Yeah.
And it's also going to add performance improvements for higher end Unreal features like Nanite and Lumen. So it's probably better for everyone that they get to move up to that.
Yeah, I'm happy to wait for this game. It feels like an autumn game, anyways.
Yeah, I want it during the scary seasons.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I'm super excited for this game. It's one of my most anticipated for this year. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm glad they're taking the time that they need for it without like imposing crunch upon the employees. Speaking of games,
but speaking of Zelda, speaking of games.
Speaking of games that I love, here's some not disappointing news. You know, Dead by Daylight is almost always not disappointing news. There's always good Dead by Daylight news.
Dead by Daylight.
Bless for that.
Just quietly churning out more Dead by Daylight, giving the people what they want. If you're part of that Dead by Daylight community, you are just constantly rewarded.
Now, Dead by Daylight has a fantastic, fantastic collection of characters. Obviously, they have a lot of characters that are from like borrowed IP, but they also have a ton
Like
of great.
Mrs. Doubtfire.
Like Mrs. Doubtfire. I loved when they put Mrs. Doubtfire in.
Hello. She comes running. She comes
Yeah.
running down that
God.
dark hallway with the cream pie on her face.
Yeah, I remember that.
Hello.
Yeah, I love it when that happens.
By the time you hear the hello, it's too late.
Yeah.
Hello means goodbye for you.
Then you get hooked.
Dead by Daylight, hire this man.
So what this is, they're making a single player Dead by Daylight game. But wait, Anthony. It's from Supermassive.
Ooh.
It's from the developers of one of my favorite games of all time, Until Dawn, the developers of the Dark Pictures anthology series. They're the perfect devs for this.
That's
and I
really
say this
good.
knowing full well that Devil in Me did suck upon release. Still a fun story, but damn, was buggy. Here's the thing, Supermassive games are always fucking buggy,
Yeah.
but they're still my favorite games.
They
I
have-
love these games.
Yeah, I think we've said this before, but I liken them very much to Telltale towards the end, where like Telltale had that in-house engine and they were like, we can just keep cramming new stories and assets into this engine and we'll just bolt a little new functionality on. And by the end, it's like a cartoon about Goofy fixing a car. And it's just like, and it's like,
I love their games, but also like Dead by Daylight released a dating sim earlier this year.
Hooked on You.
Hooked on You, which is a great dating sim. It's very, very fun. If you haven't played it, I highly recommend. So they were having a lot of fun in the world, and they're having a lot of fun with their characters, and I'm so fucking into this. So this is a PvE game that's in early development, so we don't know a ton about it yet. We don't have any kind of like timeline or anything for it realistically, but I'm very, very, very excited. Studio head Steve Goss said, this is a whole new way for horror fans to experience Dead by Daylight. I love this. Because here's the thing, I never want to play Dead by Daylight. Like, I never want to solo queue into Dead by Daylight, but I love the game. But it often means waiting for when my friends want to play Dead by Daylight.
sure. It's one of those, it's one of those games we're always talking about where it's like, if you've got a group that wants to play Dead by Daylight on a certain day of the week or whatever, it's just, that's your thing. That can be your thing forever. They're saying Tracy Tuft, during their 7th anniversary broadcast, they did basically a State of the Dead by Daylight.
Yeah,
And,
State of the Dead.
State of the Dead. They said, we've been working hard to blend intention, agency, and the branching storytelling of a supermassive game together with Dead by Daylight's mythology to create an intense narrative experience filled with power, life, or death choices. It's going to be set outside the entity's realm and features the story of a new cast of characters who players will follow for an unprecedented experience beyond the fog. So all new characters, all new stuff.
But the entity is existing, and they said the themes in our game will center around greed and the lust for power. These will be present in both the gameplay itself and in the stories of the characters who were tempted to enter a strange new corner of the entity's realm.
I love a strange new corner.
It
There's
sounds
nothing
so
I love
good.
more than a strange new corner. Everybody in the audience is talking about how good and gay the Dead by Daylight games are as well, which is 100% true. The Bren News says more like Dead by Gaylight, am I right? And you're not wrong. And we love to see it. And we love to see it.
So good. I'm so excited. This is excellent news, and I cannot wait to play it. It can't get here soon enough, and I'm so glad it's super massive.
Now, I am too. That's a really good partnering. And I like when a studio... understands what, and a publisher understands what to do with their IP and isn't afraid to share that way. You know, a lot of publishers or developers will get a huge hit on their hands.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, well, we can do this. We'll hire more teams. We'll get some talent that can do this, and we'll build all these things in-house, and we'll have like a release cycle.
Yeah.
And that's just the way to like destroy an IP. And so I love that Supermassive has been very good about like, well, we're going to give this to this team who's good at developing this, and we're going to give this to the literal best people to do this. We're going to give it to Supermassive.
And that's also like why I reference the dating sim. That doesn't sound that relevant to this, but like they did a proper fucking dating sim. And as somebody who's like a huge fan of the genre and has played so many of these, you can tell when somebody's like, we should make a dating sim. And when somebody understands how a dating sim should play, what the like What the dialogue is supposed to be like. There's a whole thing. There's like a culture to dating sims.
If you can't make a dating sim as well as Kentucky Fried Chicken made a dating sim, don't bother.
Hey,
just don't bother.
There. A gating sim.
A gating sim. 7 of the 9 Colonel Sanders can call us. We're not going to tell you which 2 are not allowed. Well, one of them's dead.
What?
Norm
real?
Macdonald. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. It is summer, and because of summer, we're getting these fall announcements and continuing the fall kind of horror and suspense themed announcements. One of my favorite games of all time.
We got one for Saige and then one for Anthony.
Well, this one I would say is for the world. It's for culture. It's for art. It's for all of us. It's Alan Wake 2, the sequel to one of the greatest games of all time by one of the greatest studios ever to do it. The voice actor for Alan Wake, not just the voice actor, but sometimes the live action body actor for Alan Wake, Matthew Peretta, went on the Monsters, Madness, and Magic podcast and said, Alan Wake 2 is coming out in October, babies.
Ooh, hey, that's kind of soon.
That's soon, and it's perfect.
Yeah, it is. We're going to be fed this autumn.
It's going to be amazing.
We will be fed this autumn.
So Peretta said, I've been working on it. It's supposed to come out in October. We're in the middle of working on it now. In fact, I was just in Finland last week. That's where the company's from, Remedy. They're amazing people. Now, this is not an official announcement. It also, there might be delays that, as a voice actor, Matthew Peretta is not privy to. There might be things going on in the studio. The studio, Remedy, has not said anything about Alan Wake 2 coming out in October, but that kind of gives us an idea of where they at least think they are.
Yeah.
And that's huge. That's huge.
Very exciting. I'm looking forward to that very, very much.
Me too. Hey, speaking of which, Quantum Break is about to leave Game Pass. So if you haven't played arguably the worst Remedy game, but still an interesting and good Remedy game, play Quantum Break before it leaves Game Pass.
I just wanted to show this really quick.
Oh, we love itch. We love a free indie game.
This is just a game I came across called Faking It, where you're the president trying to convince everyone you're not an alien.
Right. You're President Hugh Mann.
Just trying to tell people that you're definitely not an alien. Use the keyboard to control your body language, the mouse to control your voice, swat away any pesky tentacles. All you have to do is last through the whole speech without the audience getting suspicious. There's no news about this. I just really wanted to show you the game.
The news is this exists and you can have it.
I just really wanted to show you the game.
While we're talking about horror games and kind of the spookier side of things, try out Faking It.
I'm always up to talk about tentacles.
Clip it. Clip it.
Anyway.
Rip your DMs today.
Rip my DMs every day.
Every day.
Rotten pieces to my DMs.
Hey, I want to talk about Nintendo and I want to talk about Zelda.
Okay.
I spent a lot of hours this weekend playing Zelda. I don't know how much more Zelda you've gotten in, if
Very
any.
little. I've been in New York.
Did you get any Zelda in on the plane?
Mm-mm.
When are you gonna Zelda?
I didn't take my Switch with me. I know, Anthony. I know. I hear you. I hear you.
Zelda's out.
Yeah.
Zelda came out last week.
I know. And I brought my Retroid.
Okay. What did you play on your Retroid?
A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Animal Crossing?
No, I didn't. You know why?
Why?
Because I already have a save file on my Retroid 2 Pocket, and I didn't want to start over on my 3. I was having a great time with it. The GameCube Animal Crossing. I was having a lovely time with it. That and Harvest Moon are off limits because I'll just go back to my previous Retroid, or I'll move over an SD card.
Yeah.
But I wasn't gonna start my save files over.
God no.
The Little Luigi's Mansion.
Well, Zelda's out.
Oh yeah, Zelda.
Zelda's out, and most of us are playing that Zelda. And let me tell you something. The Zelda is good. Mm-hmm. I played so many hours of Zelda this week. I had a friend in from out of town.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, what do you want to do while you're here.
Uh-huh.
They're not like, I haven't really planned anything. Like, what do you want to do? And they were like, we just play Zelda. That's what we did. We
Hell
went
yeah.
to the park and we sat down and we played Zelda in the park like all day. And
that's
let
a
me
good
tell
day.
you, it's a real case for an OLED Switch.
Yeah?
Ooh, playing the Switch in the sun, the original
Yeah.
Switch. Ooh, it was
Yeah.
rough. It was rough.
Would
but
you say it was distractingly ugly?
I wouldn't. But creator of God of War and Twisted Metal, David Jaffe certainly did. David Jaffe continuing his good opinions about Nintendo. You might remember that David Jaffe. Do you remember?
Hey,
Do you remember?
you might remember this.
Do you remember the Piscetti with David Jaffe? David Jaffe, you might remember when Metroid Prime came out, couldn't find hidden blocks in a room. Sorry, Metroid Dread. Let me just take this whole story from the beginning.
So do you remember when Nintendo?
Do you remember Nintendo? David Jaffe, the creator of Twisted Metal and God of War, who has historically amazing Nintendo opinions, continued to have amazing Nintendo opinions. You might remember during Metroid Dread, he couldn't find the hidden blocks to shoot in a room after the hidden blocks were tutorialized to him in the
Yes.
previous room. And now Metroid Dread speedrunners call those blocks Jaffe blocks.
Yeah.
They call it the Jaffe room because he could not figure out that hidden blocks were a thing. And so he said Metroid Dread had terrible game design. Well, he's back. And he said Tears of the Kingdom is distractingly ugly. This is the man who made a game that's entire aesthetic was to look like the drawings of a 15-year-old child
Yeah.
drawing monsters and chainsaw punks in their notebook. One of the ugliest games of all time.
Yeah.
David Jaffe. David Jaffe said that Tears of the Kingdom is distractingly ugly. Distractingly ugly.
Said, I've been trumpeting gameplay over visuals and games as an art form since I started making games professionally 20 years ago. Fact is, though, there are distractingly ugly parts of this game. Deal with it or don't, but it's true.
I can't believe we're clearly buying into his rage baiting, but here's the thing.
Imagine watching a bunch of people enjoy something and thinking you need to open your stupid fucking mouth. I don't know, man. Hey, I didn't sleep a lot last night, so like maybe that's a little harsh, but like imagine not containing the capacity within you to shut the fuck up.
He loves to just cause a little stir so people will pay attention to him. He did this right after so first of all, we talked about this. Yes, the Switch is weaker hardware.
Sure.
The game is not as high tech as a bunch of other stuff that's out there. But one thing that we can never dunk on is Nintendo's art direction.
No.
Nintendo lives on their art direction. Their hardware is always a little behind everybody else's for the last, 3 generations, 4 generations. But they make beautiful games that stand the test of time. After saying this, so like if you're talking about, oh, there are jaggies, oh, it's low resolution, oh, the frame rate is bad. I'm happy to say that.
Fine, valid criticism.
I'm happy to have those discussions with you. If you just want to say parts of this game are ugly, deal with it. He tweeted this after saying it. Don't worry, fellas. I had AI fix it. Now we're talking. Someone should send this to the folks at Nintendo and show them how to do the art next time. Now, this is clearly him trying to make people mad. He's clearly poking the bear right now. But the fact that he would even put this out into the world and put his name on it is so wild to me.
White guys on Twitter, shut the fuck up challenge.
Rich Bad at Game says, Beetle is ugly as fuck. Now, Beetle is beautiful.
And very proud of his nipples.
And very proud of his nipples. And Beetle's design is perfect. Sorry.
Stay mad.
Sorry.
That's our rage bait hot take.
Yeah. So this is kind of wild. Come on, Jaffe.
Like, I just don't get it. I don't get how, as an industry professional, you run around running your mouth like that. I don't get why you hate someone enjoying things, because that's it. Everyone is universally loving this game. This game's getting 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10 on so many reviews. And he's out there being like, but.
It's because he's not in the industry anymore in the way that he used to be. He has pivoted to being an opinion and opinion channel and commentator channel on Twitch. He's pivoted to podcaster / Patreon, that sort of thing. And so now he's part of the rage cycle.
Hey, that's kind of embarrassing.
Created God of War.
And now he needs you to support his Patreon.
In other Nintendo news, we got some more Gibba games on the Nintendo Switch Online.
Yeah.
It's
not a huge list. We got a few more Game Boy Advance games.
Yeah. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, look, what are we getting? We're getting Super Mario Advance 1, 2, and 3. Great.
Yeah.
That's great. So basically what you're getting is you're getting Super Mario Brothers 2, Super Mario World, and Yoshi's Island on the GBA. Great.
That's it.
Great. But here's the thing is the base level of the Nintendo Pass already has Super Mario All-Stars on it, which is all those games already on Super Nintendo. Arguably the better versions of the games.
Interesting.
So, you know, I don't know. There's a lot. The GBA library is so huge, and they should be trotting out like rare gems, things that like strange games, things that like obviously you need some big headliners.
Yeah.
But they need to be diving into that library a bit more and just showing us the stranger stuff.
Here's what I want. A, I want DS games. Obviously.
Yes, 100%.
But B, we talked about this previously, but handheld gaming consoles were at the time the only gaming consoles that were catering to like femininity a lot. And there's a lot of cute little girly games that only came out for like GBA and DS that like I would fucking love.
Yeah.
Like the weird kind of niche horse doctor games. You know what I mean? Like I want all of those weird little games that weren't from like, they were either from like a niche existing IP or like a non-existent IP where it's like, yeah, do you want to raise ducks? And we were like, fuck yeah, we want to raise ducks.
Ubisoft back in the day before they became who they are now was they were a real champion of that sort of stuff with like the Pet series and then also what was it? The Style Star series, stuff like that.
I want the equivalent of the like Flash game websites that existed, Your Girls Go Games, that existed for the GBA and that existed for the Nintendo DS. Those are the kind of things that we don't have elsewhere. Those to me are like bordering on lost media.
Yeah. There's a great video series on that. I think I sent you the link to it, but it was like the lot like girl games and like the loss of girl games and like the history of them.
Ooh, I don't know if you did.
Okay, I'll send it to you. It was really good. People are saying, and you need to be giving those. A lot of people are saying, whoa, the Horse Doctor games just like unlocked core memories.
Right?
But also, I Red Earth is saying things like, give me things like Soul Blazer, where the cartridges are $300.
Yeah.
Rare games that people don't get the opportunity to play, that they only hear about. You know, I just feel like they're not squandering the expansion pass, but they could certainly be doing more with the expansion pass.
I agree.
In terms of Nintendo Online and the virtual
they will.
console. But unlocking DS
Oh, that'd be huge.
would be huge.
That'd be huge.
But you know, we've been talking about it, and I think, you know, my opinion is that they're waiting on DS for whatever the next generation of the hardware is.
But it's gonna
because
take
they
so
think they want your TV to be a monitor. I think they want to go back to a Wii U style almost.
Right.
Where like when you plug your Switch in, whatever the next Switch is.
I love that.
I think they want to give it the 2-screen capability
I want
again.
that. I want all the little drawing games. Hey, bring back PictoChat. If you're gonna put DS shit on there, please, I beg of you. I know that you won't, but give me PictoChat.
Yeah.
Ooh, give me PictoChat. That'd be so good. Gab Greg said, yeah, give me games I don't have to use my brain. Work tires me out. I want more games like that. I just want my head empty. Please doctor this horse games. I want my little girly games.
Please just doctor this. You know what I want?
There was a real thing, and it was a big game, and I couldn't tell you what the fuck the name of it was.
There are a couple Swapnote and PictoChat like open source things that let you use them. One of them is PictoSwap, which is pretty popular and has an online website. He said in 1999. It has like a centralized website that you can use to like share PictoSwaps with other people.
That's awesome.
I just love that.
Anthony?
Yes.
You know how I know the Nintendo DS thought of the girlies?
How?
How many horse games there were?
There were a lot of horse games.
Look how many fucking horse games there were. Look how many horse games there were.
Yeah. I think when we were curating our collections of DS games, I think I tried to throw in as many horse games as I knew existed.
Now I say this as somebody who I don't particularly like horse.
No, but I'm
not a horse girl.
I tried to throw in horse, pets, and simulation.
Yeah.
As much as I could, but I wasn't even aware of all this.
Look how many there are. It's still going, man.
Pony Friends 2. Riding Academy 2.
2. Clever Kids Pony World.
Damn.
My Horse and Me 2. Genuinely incredible and iconic. And I want to say, like, this is a different thing. When I say, like, girly games, that means a different thing. Has nothing to do with actually gender.
No.
Has nothing to do even with femininity. Truly, girly is its own word.
Now, I do want to say when I'm looking at this, and I'm looking at the indoctrination of children via their assumed gender by society.
Yeah.
I do want to say this. There's something going on where like we're giving girls horses and we're giving kids and we're giving boys guns.
And there's been no effect from that.
And watch who grows up to be what is all I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely. But also, here's the thing. There is a balance that has to exist within the world where women can both be included in all of these spaces and also have things that cater to femininity.
Yeah. I mean,
if that's a fucking fashion game, that's a fashion game. Whatever femininity means to you is a very different thing. But we had this idea of like, to be a gamer girl, to be included in the game space means that you have to like these specific kinds of games. You have to like a shooter then. You have to like Big Smash. You have to want to play God of War, right?
Yeah. If it doesn't have a mini game where you're fucking,
not real game.
It's not a real game.
And there hasn't been a console since that's really done things like the handhelds we're doing.
Yeah, no, I mean maybe some of the Wii stuff, and there was a little on the PS2, but not as much as handhelds by any means.
Not nearly as much.
I do want to say a couple things that people popped up. Number one, Jelly PB said Korg made a DS synthesizer for us trans girlies. That's true.
Fuck yeah.
Hey, we just want to say that we love all of our trans audience, and we hope that your modular synthesizers are working well today, and your Euro racks, the patches are good. We hope that the jungle BPM is doing you well, trans folks who are watching us.
May the synths bless you today.
May the synths bless you all.
We also got a lot of Dazzle was a horse girl.
Yeah, we got a lot of give horses guns.
Yeah, we got a lot of that.
We got a lot of that. We can definitely. I mean, look. Maybe that's the solve.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the solve right there.
Royal said
all genders will melt into one like the end of Evangelion the second we give horses guns.
Royal said, I would love if Nintendo made another specifically handheld system. And I know it is an evolution in a positive direction for games not to. Like, I get it. Like, you made something that does both. And I want a fucking Game Boy.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Every time, and there are answers. We know what the answers are. The answers are the Switch is the Game Boy, but it's not small enough.
Right.
The answers are the phone is the Game Boy. No buttons. Got to do other things on it.
I want a new DS specifically, actually.
I want a new handheld.
I want a new DS in particular. Because look, we've got excellent handhelds. There's tons of handhelds out there right now. Isn't the Nintendo Switch Lite literally a handheld? Sure, but it's not the same as a Game Boy.
Time yourself out. We're gonna give you mod access only so you can time yourself out.
But what we're asking for is a Game Boy. And if you had a Game Boy and you have a Switch, you know the difference.
Understood. We're glad you accept your...
Put yourself in timeout.
We're glad you accept your punishment.
But really
Get in the car. We're going to Chuck E. Cheese and then jail.
I want a Nintendo DS. I want a new DS.
Yeah.
We had so many iterations of the DS. There's no reason for it to die. And I don't think that the Switch is a replacement for it.
We've lost a specific segment of technology that was made for children.
Mm-hmm.
And not just children, but it was also made, I mean, it's for what we would call casual, right? It was what we would call that's what the industry likes to call it, is casual. But there are a million different genres within that, and they were really catered to by portable hardware because of the price of entry, because of the ease of playing it, because portable games were designed to be played in smaller spurts.
Yeah.
And just be more manageable. And people just don't do that as much anymore. Mobile's been poisoned by microtransactions.
Yeah.
And so it can't be that.
It's wild. The word casual in gaming.
Yeah.
It's so interesting because when you think of what most companies consider the casual gamer, most time it is just anything that women are playing, obviously.
Yeah.
That's just an association. But The Sims 4 is in the category for the casual gamer.
Yeah. Nobody who plays The Sims 4 is casual.
No one who plays The Sims 4 is casual.
They are.
Ever.
Listen, hey, if you're playing The Sims 4, take a shower. It's been 3 days.
Yeah.
If you're playing The Sims 4, I need you to go eat something.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no one's casual about The Sims. This is the 100th house you've built, and you've already done the 100 days, 100 baby challenge 3 times, okay? It's not casual.
It's not casual.
There's nothing casual about it.
Casual was initially made up by the business arms of the industry, by this company, to just genuinely mean people who don't consider themselves gamers, who only play games for a few hours a week.
Right.
That's what it was meant to be. And then unfortunately,
The Sims players.
That's not The Sims players, and it's also not what the gaming audience took it and turned it into.
They're modding. They're modding. I can't believe we have an entire community of people, in-depth modding games that are being called casual. What?
They're doing more coding than I've ever done.
Wild to me.
Anyways, let's talk a little bit about movies.
Let's talk about movies.
Now, as we know, if anybody out there is a member of the family, Corona's up. Fast 10 is out. It's here.
The words, you're just saying fasten.
The fact that it's not called your seatbelts is still obnoxious to me. Come on. Fast 10 is out, and surprisingly, Saige, despite all of the weird stuff around it, all of the weird Vin Diesel stuff, the public feuding with The Rock, all of the strange things, all the strange quotes from John Cena, all of the odd things that have been going on around the release of this movie, it's still crushing. It's still crushing. You can't slow down Dom. You cannot.
He's too fast.
He's too fast. Do you know what else he is?
What?
I think you know. What is he?
Unable to identify social boundaries?
Furious. That's right.
Oh!
That's right. Furious. Folks, do you remember the part in the Fast movies where Dom got married in an all-white tank top and pants combo?
I don't think I made it to that
Where
one.
Dom and Letty got married?
We watched the first 5.
Oh, okay. Dom and Letty get married.
Spoiler!
When Dom
Which
and
one's Letty?
Michelle Rodriguez.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You watched 6 of these movies.
I don't remember a damn thing about these movies.
You remember Han?
I remember Han Eat Snacks.
Yeah, Han Eat Snacks. Love Giselle. Who's Wonder Woman? You watched 7 of these movies. You watched 10 of these movies. You watched 13 of these films.
We watched 5 or 6 of them.
Is Letty the Barbarian from D&D? Yes, that's how we should identify her now.
Hey, she is a barbarian in the D&D movie.
When Dom and Letty get married,
Spoiler.
Dom and Letty wedding,
Blade of Creation said, does Vin Diesel start out by calling you a hero for going to the movies? And I do want to revisit that in a second.
I want to show you what Dom and Letty's wedding looks like.
Yeah, this is definitely not in one of them that I watched. Which one is this in? Somebody in the audience tell us.
This is what Dom and Letty's wedding looked like. That's what Dominic Toretto got married in. Let's go. He's literally just a human action figure. And so he just wears the same outfit in different colors.
And she's got this beautiful fucking dress on with the train.
She's crushing
and a cape.
Dominic Toretto. I love the Fast franchise.
I know, Anthony.
I truly do.
I know.
And you can ask me, you can say, oh, you love it ironically, you love it in like a strange... Do I? Shut up. I don't know. I'll watch them anytime, anywhere.
He can't tell
I have a
anymore.
genuine love for them.
In the same way we got lost in the bit for cats.
Yeah.
You've gotten lost in the Fast
No, I've
bit.
always loved cats. I love cats.
See what I mean?
Cats is a perfect film.
See what I mean?
But I'm going to tell you this. So I saw Fast. I didn't see 9 in the theaters because of the poison air from the last few years. But I did see Fast 8 in the theaters, and I saw it in 4DX, and the seats were moving, and it was spraying water at me, and there were flashing lights, and those movies are a hell of a ride. I can't wait to see Fast 10. A ride.
Nice.
I can't wait to see Fast 10. Will you go see Fast 10 with me at 4DX?
Do we have to get sprayed with water?
You can turn the water off on your seat.
Okay. I won't have any context because I missed somewhere between 4 and 6 of them.
Now, I did see Fast 9. I mean, that's the one. Now, did they go to space in Fast 9 or Fast 8? Whichever one they go to space in, that's the one that I saw 4DX. Ludacris and Tyrese basically, they basically just like foam seal a car.
Okay.
And launch it into space because it's airtight.
Of course.
And they wind up having drinks on the International Space Station with the astronauts. I fucking love Fast and Furious.
I've heard people reference that and I thought it was a joke. That's real?
That's real. They launch a car into space and they come down weeks later with the astronauts.
Anthony.
Because NASA has to retrieve them.
Things have definitely escalated since where I left off.
Did we get to the point where Dominic Toretto catches a flying car?
No. No, they weren't superheroes yet. And 5.
Oh, man.
They were guys who drive cars fast. And like, you know, jumping from vehicle to vehicle, stuff like that. Like, they were like super drivers.
Yeah.
But they were not super.
But I want to say they were driving through buildings and stuff when we saw it. They were at least doing like they were at least like jumping 40 feet and like landing. Yeah.
Yes, they were doing stuff like that.
Yeah. They're so good. They're so good.
Yeah.
I just want the one clip of him catching a car, but it's all in like, I just want a GIF of it, really.
Yeah.
That's all you need to see. Here we go. Vin Diesel catches a car.
Oh my God.
It's so good. Remember one where the big thing was driving under a truck trailer? Yeah, remember that in the first one, they were stealing DVD players.
Yeah.
They were drag racers in Orange County who were stealing DVD players.
Do they even street race anymore? Sounds like no.
No, they don't have time. They're saving the
Do they
world.
even steal DVD players anymore?
They stopped an evil AI satellite from destroying the Earth last time. And they didn't want to because they want out. But can't nobody drive like they drive?
Always one last job.
There's always one last drive. Can't nobody drive like they drive?
I don't like now
Saige.
going to the movie and getting the preview where the whole cast has to sit there awkwardly and be like, thank you for coming to the movies. You're a hero for coming to the movies.
No, I hate it. Can I tell you one of my favorite things is when I was hosting the Quantum Mania red carpet, humble brag, when I was hosting the Quantum Mania red carpet, clearly everyone on the cast and crew has been told, hey, tell people in your interview, come see this in the theater, come see it on the biggest
Sure.
screen you can, blah, blah, blah. Jeff Loveness, who was the writer of Quantum Mania, all he said at the end, because he was clearly told you have to say this.
Yeah.
He looked right in the camera and he went, "The movies are back." And then he walked off and I was like, fuck yeah, Jeff Loveness.
Sure, whatever.
Because he clearly was like, this is stupid. I don't want to do this.
Retro Kid said, saw Fast X last weekend, so how much can I spoil? None.
None.
Absolutely zero.
Hey, you want to see Dominic Toretto catch a car? He got it. He was surfing on another car and he caught that car. Don't worry, he's got it. These movies rule. John Cena?
Surfing another car. The car's on its side.
Yeah.
How are they justifying that?
He's a great driver.
Like, do they say anything? Like, are they like, he's got superhuman strength?
No, he just drives well. What about that needs superhuman strength? Stopped it. That's just physics. Sorry.
Because, like, I get how you justify cars doing things and them doing things with cars.
Bikini More, Lisa is saying he wasn't driving when he caught the car, Anthony. It's driving related. He's probably good at changing a tire too. You know what I mean? He's a mechanic. I don't get what's so hard to understand. One time, John Cena punched him through a wall and he fell 3 stories onto a car, so he survived.
So as long as there's a car in the scene, you can do anything.
Yeah, as long as there's a car around. If there was no car around, they'd be powerless.
Now I get it.
They'd
Anthony,
they have no ability to do anything that isn't car related.
I finally get it.
As long as there's a car around,
Yeah.
there's nothing magic about it. He's just a good driver.
Yeah.
There's no like special powers or anything. I think people are overthinking it. He's a very good driver, and as long as there are cars around, he's good.
Yeah.
Anyway, Fast 10 is making a lot of money. It made $67.5 million domestically in its opening weekend and $318 million globally. And that only puts it in 7th place in the franchise.
Jesus Christ.
These movies print money.
Somebody mentioned something about horses. Naturally, we've been talking about horses a lot here.
Horse is nature's car. Do you think that Dominic Toretto could catch a horse?
So here's what I want.
If a horse was falling,
In the woods and no one was around to hear it.
could Dominic Toretto catch it?
Yeah.
Could,
So here's what I want, Anthony. Here's what I'm pitching. I want like a 19th century set Fast and the Furious. Where it's the same exact style of movie,
yes.
but it's all on horses.
I love that. You're jumping horses over other horses.
Yeah. They'd all have to be CGI, so we don't harm any horses.
One horse is sliding on its side and he's standing on that horse while another horse comes flying at him.
And not even any buggies. I don't want any buggies. I don't want any carriages. I want straight on the horses.
Can I tell you, do you remember when people were joking around about the Fast and the Furious universe crossing over with Jurassic World?
Yeah. And then they were like, well, they can't do that because Vin Diesel has in his contract that nobody can get more hits in than him, and he would have to then be able to like punch a T-Rex.
But here's the thing. Everybody from the Fast side was into it.
Yeah.
Nobody from the Jurassic side was into it. Everybody from the Fast side is into it. And let me tell you
Shocking.
something. Jurassic World is a coward's franchise. A coward's franchise. And I think crossing over with the Fast and the Furious would only make it better. They didn't give that little girl dinosaur powers. They didn't do shit. They squandered laser-guided raptors. They did nothing with their batshit crazy ideas. And that's why the movies did not turn out well. They created the batshit ideas and then they were afraid, Saige.
Yeah.
Justin Lin's not afraid. Justin Lin will say to you, listen,
Of anything.
I want to do this shot. What we're going to have to do is fly over the desert and drop like 10 real cars out of a cargo plane. Otherwise, the shot's not going to look good. And Universal says, gas up the plane. Because Justin Lin's not afraid of anything. When Vin Diesel comes to Justin Lin and says, cars should swing on vines, Justin Lin says, you're right. Cars should swing on vines. Let's make it happen. Meanwhile, you go to the Jurassic World people and you say, we put a laser-guided targeting system on a raptor. Let's just give it a machine gun.
Yeah.
And they say, no, dinosaurs would never hold a machine gun. You gave it a laser-guided targeting system. You said that a little girl was a half dinosaur clone of her own grandmother, and then you didn't give her dinosaur powers.
I don't want the dinosaurs to have guns.
I do. And I want that little girl to not have guns, but she should have Wolverine-style dinosaur claws. And Vin Diesel should be there. Cross them over, Universal.
You want him to fight that little girl, that little dinosaur girl?
Yeah, and they have to get an even number of hits in because of Vin Diesel's contract, but also because of that little girl's contract.
Yeah.
She said, I will not look like a punk in any fight scene.
Correct. All right, in other movie news.
There are other movies? Why?
Well, in other news. Secret Invasion is coming.
Yeah.
We got some updated posters for Secret Invasion.
Who's a Skrull?
Could be anyone.
Was it you? Are you a Skrull?
Could be.
If you're a Skrull and you don't tell me.
Why are you just showing me the picture over again? I think this is fun.
If you're a Skrull and you don't tell me, it's entrapment.
Look, they're all Skrulls.
Anyone could be a Skrull.
They're all Skrulls.
I'm excited for Emilia Clarke in Marvel.
Me too.
I'm excited for her in Marvel.
Yeah.
That's
we
gonna be
thought
good.
that we were going to have a moment with her in Star Wars. We thought that she'd be really like living and thriving.
I love Kira.
Yeah.
I love Kira as a character. I think she was dope in that movie.
I agree. I thought we were going to get more Kira. So far, no more Kira. I suspect no more Kira ever.
Cowards.
So very excited about that. We got a couple of things for Secret Invasion. We got a fresh new trailer. Of course, it's starting pretty soon, June 21st on Disney+.
We've got Olivia Colman in a Ding Dang Marvel series.
Yeah. I'm going to like skip around on this a little bit because we hate to be copyright striked. We don't like it one bit. And This is just a little Twitter preview of it. And obviously, playing no audio also helps.
Yeah. And basically, everybody is very worried about Skrulls. You can see everybody is talking in offices and then in dark alleys, and they're very worried about Skrulls. And then something explodes, and they're like, was it Skrulls? And then, they're running around and like, we got to do something about the Skrulls.
Yeah.
And it looks good.
Are you excited about Secret Invasion?
Yeah. Yeah, I like Skrulls.
Okay, cool. I like Skrulls.
I've been waiting for Secret Invasion because here's the thing about Secret Invasion. Now, Secret Invasion, I think, would have been more interesting had they been able to pull it off with a lot of the original Avengers still in universe.
Agreed.
Because then you have this thing where it's like, anyone could be a Skrull. That's very exciting.
Yeah.
And it would have been a billion times, I think, more exciting if you'd had like Captain America, Black Widow, like all of those characters, like Iron Man, like one of them could have turned out to be a Skrull, and that would have been super dope. Now, we've still got a lot of great characters who can be Skrulls. And I'm very excited to see who's a Skrull.
Absolutely.
Because the thing I like about Secret Invasion is it can really switch up where the MCU is going by who it decides is a Skrull.
Yeah. It hasn't been long since we got a Marvel thing, but we're in a strange place with Marvel where it doesn't really feel like Marvel's happening right now, and literally is. I think because we're not having our like, oh shit, midnight theater, moments.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. So I look forward to the thing that like kicks us back into feeling like we're like Marvel felt for so long like heading towards Endgame.
Yeah.
We don't have a thing that we're heading towards right now.
No, we're in the middle of the reset.
Exactly. Which is like a hard time to be in, and the reset is necessary.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have like Marvel fatigue. It doesn't really, I'm not like, look, am I rushing as quickly to the theaters as I did 8 years ago? No, but probably not for anything.
That's fair.
But I don't have like Marvel burnout. I'm not in Marvel fatigue. I still want more very good Marvel movies.
Yeah. But I think the thing is with with a level of saturation for a lot of these franchises, you are going to have to pick and choose what you like, and you can miss certain things, and that's the thing that people are I think misunderstanding about this is I have to watch all the Marvel, and you don't have to anymore.
You don't. There's more Marvel than ever because of Disney Plus, and that makes it so it's like, oh no, it's not just like, oh, a mainline movie once a year.
Yeah.
You can miss some. You can just watch the ones you want.
2 or 3 times a year now.
Yeah.
But you can.
But at the time,
you can decide, and it's the same with like Star Wars and stuff. The thing about making all of these franchises into these giant super multimedia universes is like you pick and choose what you like.
What, Dagger?
Like I know a lot of people that just watch TV Star Wars and they like the TV Star Wars stuff. So yeah, I think if you're feeling fatigued by something, don't feel like you have to watch all of it. Does the boy need to go out?
Staring at us, and as soon as I got up, he walked towards the door.
All right. I'm going to distract you with this cool new Lego set.
I'm going to take the dog out?
No, I'm going to distract you with a cool new
Lego
Lego
set.
set.
With the cool new Lego set.
And then I'm going to take the dog out.
Oh, okay. Sweet.
Yeah. The original Lego store link is at the bottom of the article. It has video.
Hell yeah.
I'll be back in a minute.
Okay, take the dog out. Dagger was just staring at me. He was really just truly fucking staring at me. And I was like, did I do something? Did I hurt your feelings, man? Andor is cool. Am I Star Warsing right? Yeah, you absolutely are. Pick and choose you at your leisure, but you'll get the gist in the movies. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, so, God, there's so many things that I have to click through. There's a lot of extra things on like Lego websites to make sure that children don't just like go on and accidentally buy a bunch of Legos on their parents' credit card. But what Anthony wanted me to show you all is the Pac-Man arcade set. Look, it's functional. And that's very, very cool. They're doing a lot more with functionality on Lego sets as they get bigger and bigger. I'll always hype up how much I loved the NES set. It's a lot of fun. I think this is lovely and very, very cool. How much is it? It's always the next thing that I think with Lego is how much. Because it can be anywhere from $100 to $1 million. Looks like in US dollars, it is $269.99. How do we feel about it? Lego does get so expensive. And it's at the point now where Lego is so intricate and I don't feel like the prices are really, like, I look at some of them now and I'm like, yeah, in Lego prices, that kind of makes sense.
Did you see the crank? See what happens when you crank it?
No. There's no video on here on the original press release. It must be in the other one.
Oh, no. There was a store link. Hold on. Here, it's right here.
Oh, all the way down there. All right.
Here, I'll show you the crank.
Oh my God, it has a little one with it.
Yeah.
Look.
So
Cute. Okay.
Yeah, let's go through it here. So, here's the case. Here, let's make it a little biggie.
Yeah.
Here you get to see just a tiny little bit of the video. Load it up.
Maybe if it'll let it.
So there's a little spin around of it.
Okay.
All right.
Very cute.
This little bit comes off the top. You don't need to have it on the top.
2,651 pieces.
It's got a lot of inner workings, as you can see.
Ooh.
Yeah. Inside there's a little
God.
arcade. And she's playing at her own little arcade. This is the thing that goes on the top. There's a score and everything. But now, watch this. This is where shit gets so real.
Is it?
Yeah.
It moves throughout?
It moves throughout.
Yeah, that makes sense. I was expecting that. I don't feel like $270 is bananas for this. I don't know. Is that weird? Should I? Should I feel like that's terrible for this?
Wait for it. Those spin.
Very cute.
And so when he eats a power pellet, they turn blue.
Ooh, light up.
The coin lights up. But then when you turn it,
yeah,
full game of Pac-Man. Full game of Pac-Man. Brought you chocolate cookies.
Oh, hey, thanks. I don't know if I like these.
No?
I don't know. We'll find out. Is chocolate in there?
Yeah.
You go first. Good?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's a very good Lego set. They're obviously building on what they did with the NES, which you had the NES one.
Yeah.
Where Mario runs through a whole goddamn level.
It's very impressive. My problem with Lego is, and the reason that I don't buy more Lego is I don't know what to do with it after I build it. I don't want to disassemble it. That's sad, but I'm also not somebody that's really interested in decorating with Lego. You have to be somebody that's committed to like shelves of Lego displays.
Yeah, like
which are great, but they're not really my decor style.
I have friends that have Lego everywhere.
Yeah.
And particularly the ones that they call like the adult series, like the ones that are like bonsai trees and like little terrariums and stuff like that. And it's cute, but it's like, it's just not me.
Exactly. My house gives Love Witch, and Lego doesn't fit into that very well. But I like building them. I wish
we could put up more than one shelf.
We could? More than an shelf?
I mean, we'd have to get somebody to come back and put up at the other shelf. I think you need a license to do that. We certainly couldn't do it.
Cordelia is our only friend with a shelf license.
We have a union shelf hanger, and if we use it, we don't use scabs. We do not cross the picket line here.
No.
Speaking of which, David Zaslav. David Zaslav, the CEO of Warner Brothers Discovery and Scum.
Discovery. More like Discovery.
Gave the Boston University commencement address.
Okay.
And Boston University did not cancel this when the strike started. They said, no, we got David Zaslav. We're going to keep David Zaslav. And David Zaslav said, I'm not canceling. I don't see anything wrong. What's going on that would possibly affect my giving this commencement speech? He said, all of the kids in the audience, all the people graduating, everyone was just screaming, "You suck, pay your writers," the whole time.
Life Serial said BU students came to graduation ready to rumble.
They really did. He was talking like there's a clip of him giving things about being kind to people, get along with people, focus on their good qualities, always see the best in people because it will help you in business. And they're like, pay writers, pay anyone challenge.
Hey, also, I hate the see the best in everyone kind of bullshit. I hate that shit because the only people who get to go through life seeing the best in everybody, middle-aged white men.
Yeah.
It's just white guys.
The wealthy and powerful see the best in everyone because everyone's on their best behavior around them.
Right. It's just straight white guys. You don't have to navigate the world looking out for the kinds of people that want to harm you. So yeah, sure, see the best in everybody. Sure thing, champ. I, on the other hand, have to look around the room and go, is it safe to walk to my car after this based on the people I can see right now? How about that?
Hey.
How about that?
See the best in everybody. Value your creative partnerships and friendships. Oh, why don't you bring back all of that library content that everybody wants to watch on streaming services that you took away because people were getting pennies of residual checks for their work? Why don't you unshelve the multiple $100 million movies that you've shelved?
And shelf The Flash.
This fucking guy. Real live, laugh, love energy from fucking David Zaslav.
The fucking sunglasses inside with it. Ridiculous. Looks so silly. I don't know who's inside.
Now
He looks
remember,
dumb either way.
Remember everyone, whenever you see headlines, and you're going to see a lot of headlines lately, saying things like writer's strike costs blank million, writer's strike halts this, writer's strike halts that. The writer's strike is not the reason. The reason is that headline could and should just as easily read studios' inability to negotiate with their employees, studios' unwillingness to pay their employees, studios' unwillingness to give quality of life raises to employees is holding up production.
Studio executives want more big boats and don't care about writers. That's it. Pay your writers. The writer strike is, of course, still ongoing. We stand in support with the writer strike. You're about to see quite a few more unions start to trickle into that strike in the next little bit. The SAG, the Screen Actors Guild, SAG-AFTRA, is up for the vote right now. They are authorized to vote to strike. Now, that's a little bit interesting because like the negotiations haven't happened yet. So what that would mean if everybody votes yes right now is that the strike would be like held, and then they would go in to the negotiations with everyone already having voted to strike. So if the negotiations don't go well, immediately after that meeting, the strike is activated for SAG-AFTRA.
Yep. DGA is going to be doing it, probably. IATSE's listen. And all this needs to happen. And one of the things that you're going to see is you're going to see all of this, like, I've seen a lot of things on social media. I've seen a lot of people from outside the industry or in other segments of the industry that are saying, this is selfish. You're shutting down work. You're stopping people from working. No. They want to be at work. The idea that these writers are making so much money is false.
Correct.
A lot of my friends who are striking right now are also worried about how they're going to pay rent next month.
Yep.
But that's why they need to strike, because they've missed 2 weeks of work and they're worried about paying rent. That should tell you how much writers are making on average.
Yep. Nobody strikes for fun. Agreed, Gab Greg. Nobody strikes for fun.
So the other thing you're going to see is a lot of people saying, oh, well, they just go on strike. Well, oh, so everybody should just go on strike? Yes. Yeah. Yes. And if the unions hadn't been destroyed and systematically picked away at since the 70s, you would be striking.
Yeah.
Because there would still be unions for your segment of whatever industry you're in, and there should be unions. Look into unionizing if there isn't a union for what you do. See if somebody's not already doing it. You should be able to bargain.
Yeah, 100%. Look, every day your employer is most likely stealing from you. Never forget it.
Yeah. The reason, the whole idea of your employer is they make more money off of your time than they pay you. If they are making a wildly huge, a disproportionately, crazily huge amount of money more than you for your time, then that means your time is worth more.
Correct.
So, yeah, that's just a little something that I want to make you aware of. Now, you should know the strike has been going on for 2 weeks.
Is that it?
I think so. Strike's been going on for like 13, 14 days. We might be approaching 3 now, but it hasn't been going for long. And they have already lost, the studios have lost in that amount of time, $100 million more than the Writers Guild was asking for over the course of 3 years.
Yep.
So what does that tell you about the amount of money the studios are making compared to their employees?
How interesting.
So there you go. General strike when?
And then you have the dicks like Walmart threatening to close stores because of theft. Yeah, Walmart's, Targets right now. I believe there were some Targets as well. I think I saw it. I wanted to confirm that. Closing down stores. Oh, there was a Starbucks that was closing down a bunch of stores because of people unionizing. Obviously, we know the fucking billionaires behind Starbucks have consistently been very actively anti-union and like saying it out loud.
Howard Schultz has said in media appearances that he will shut down any union, which you're not allowed to say.
It's literally illegal. Union busting is illegal.
But he knows that. But that's the thing is we've allowed corporate interests and we've allowed corporate money to get to the point where they are just not afraid of the law.
They would rather pay a fine because they can afford it than pay their employees.
Yeah, they would rather say out loud, "We will never allow a union," and then pay a fine just so their employees hear it.
Yeah,
and know.
Yeah,
where they stand.
Yep. Absolutely. The Brand New said, the best part is writers also now have some time to cook up some heat once they come back. That's not really the experience happening right now. Most of my friends who are writers are standing on picket lines every day.
Yeah.
Standing in like the sun and the heat fighting for what needs to be done. I wish it was a more leisurely time for our friends who are part of the strike.
Yeah. One of the things
they're
that
not working.
Yeah, one of the things that's making the strike work, and one of the only things that makes the strike work, is the physical picketing, because other unions will not cross a picket line.
Yep.
So particularly Teamsters, particularly the SAG, have policies where they don't cross picket lines for any new work. Now, if you're already a SAG actor and you're working on something, you're still allowed to go to work, but you're not allowed to do anything new. So crossing a picket line is not a metaphor. It's a physical thing.
Yeah.
They have to be blocking physical entrances to the studios to stop other unions from crossing. Yeah. They can't say it's not like the government when it's like, well, I'm invoking the filibuster. No, that's not a thing you can invoke.
Right.
It's
a thing you have to be there to do.
It's a thing you have to do. So the way it works is there are multiple gates at a studio. Yeah. There's always one gate that they are not allowed to picket in front of, and that's called a service gate. And that means workers are allowed to come in and out that are not affected by the strike. Other gates, they physically block. And when Teamster trucks and IATSE trucks and all these other trucks pull up in the morning to start doing work, if they see that line, they go, we don't cross this.
And they have to leave.
They have to leave. Now, a problem that they're having is like studios are trying to set up every entrance as a service entrance.
Can't do that.
Or they're trying to sneak people through service entrances. Yeah. There was a story the other day about like Aziz Ansari's new movie where they were trying to like shoot it late at night when people went home so they could cross the line, and people stayed up all night and made sure that line was still crossed, and like Aziz Ansari had to go home. It's like his directorial debut or something. And like, I think the idea was because it had already started, he was going to go and keep making the movie. And they had to stand in the way of the gate and just be like, no, you're not making this movie.
No, because that's not solidarity at the end of the day. There are lots of people that are still making media, and it's important to tell the difference between what is traditionally union media and what isn't. A lot of people were asking ways that you can support. Somebody had suggested there's a bunch of donation links. There are a ton of them that you can donate to support people that's like, hey, this will make sure that these people have like food and money to sustain the time that they have to be out there picketing.
Yeah, there are WGA funds that are going on right now, things that you can donate to. I don't have any links in front of me right now.
I don't have one actually? Hold on, I can.
But if you can find, I know there's like a big one that the WGA is like, hey, this is a fund that you can give to.
Yeah, I have a dear friend who is a writer on Star Trek that shared a link with us. Actually, we tweeted it out on the PixelCircus account.
We'll find it.
I'll find it and I'll post it in the Discord for y'all if you want to check it out. Obviously, if there are, and this is like kind of city specific of where you live, if there are actual like picket lines in your area, you can go out and you can picket with them. It's not just writers. Standing in solidarity, anyone can go to a picket line. Anybody can bring a sign and stand with these people. Because hey, also, people are going to be fucking tired. They're doing it every day still for 3 fucking weeks.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, and people like Skywalker's saying people are just handing off snacks and drinks and stuff like that too. And it's not easy. Like there are people that are like driving by, screaming at them, driving by, trying to hit them.
Jesus Christ.
The United States has become so anti-worker that it's like, it's ridiculous. It's honestly ridiculous.
It's honestly ridiculous.
And the issue is people are seeing this as like media fat cats, like 1%ers, people like that who are striking because they're not making $2 million a year instead of $1 million a year. That's not what it is. You've been trained to also think that people who work in media are wealthy and treated well. And that's also perpetuated by studios who want their people that are being treated horribly to think that one day they will be wealthy and treated well. It's a bunch of bullshit. It's basically turning worker against worker.
Yep.
You should want to see this go through because you should want employee organizations and unions in this country to have more strength than they do. And you should want to be able to point to successful union operations and successful strikes and say, we could also do this in our industry.
Correct.
We could also be treated fairly if we wanted to.
Anytime there is going to be a debate, and there are going to be many, between billions of dollars in an industry and the individual workers, it is very easy to say you should always be on the sides of the individual workers.
That's it. Listen, there were like one of the tweets that's going around that's huge is like, I don't know, call me anti-capitalist or call me a bad person.
Please do.
But I don't think that 8 people in the country should make more than 100,000 people are asking to make in 3 years.
Yep.
I don't think 8 people in the country should make more in a few weeks than those people want in 3 years.
Thank you to all the BBs who are putting more information in the chat. We appreciate that very, very much. That's very, very cool of you. The link to the donate link that I have that we were able to vet is in the Discord right now, if you do want to check that out. But also, hey, there was a couple people that are like, I wish I could get out to these things. I wish I could do these things. It is okay if you cannot. It is okay. At the end of the day, you do not have the capacity as an individual person to support and fix every cause.
Yeah.
Always. We do what we can.
And if you're halfway around the world, if this industry doesn't touch you, if you don't have money to get, like, just keeping up with this stuff, sharing it, making sure you're talking about it to other people and making sure people understand what's going on is always a great thing to do.
Anthony, it's 10:35.
It's 10:35. We gotta go. Oh, was it a dance to the... Was it a dance to the, or are you stretching? What's going on? Are you uncomfortable? Is there something happening in terms of, okay, I'm still unsure. And now you're making noises like maybe you are in pain. So is it a dance? The song was over. Like, it was less a song and more just me. Basically, what we're trying to say is thank you for being here today, BBs. We really appreciate it. When we're not here, you can find us in other places. You want to know where those other places are? Well, for me, all you got to do is follow me everywhere at Carboni, and you'll know. Though I am Anthony Carboni here on Twitch.
Ooh.
Twitch, you cowards, it's mine. Give it back to me. Saige?
I'm at not Saige everywhere on the internet. I'll stream later. Probably.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know.
There's tons of other news that we didn't get to today, but hey, we'll be back on Wednesday, so don't you worry about it. You can also always keep talking about these kinds of things in the Discord. Not only can you post stories that you want us to talk about, like a bunch of lovely BBs did today. Skywalker with coming in with the Pac-Man Lego set. Thank you very, very much. As well as some of the Secret Invasion stuff. You guys are great. You suggest lovely stories. Thank you for doing so. We want to talk about what you want to hear us talk about.
Hey, thanks.
Hey. Very cool, thank you. But you can also continue the conversation after. If you still want to keep conversing with the other BBs about anything that we talked about today, join the Discord. It's literally free.
It's free real estate.
Like, do it. It's free.
It costs you nothing.